Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, we're jumping right into this today because we are unpacking a really massive and honestly highly controversial framework of ideas. We're looking at 18 years of intense, independent research by an author named Karma Nayak. His whole thesis? Well, he argues we need to completely rewrite our understanding of mythology, history, and even biology. His work, which is summarized under the title Nature is the Supreme Power, basically tries to strip away thousands of years of supposed miracles to reveal the cold, hard scientific equations hidden underneath. It is a huge paradigm shift, and we're going to break down exactly how he argues this.
So he starts with a pretty heavy question. Is our entire understanding of freedom and religion just a carefully constructed 3,000-year-old illusion? Before we even touch the ancient texts, we've got to grasp his baseline premise. Nayak claims modern society is trapped in a fake freedom. He's proposing that what we accept as normal politics and religion is actually a system managed by an ancient predatory syndicate, one specifically designed to keep indigenous populations down. Like I said, bold, sweeping claims. But this sets the stage for everything else he unpacks.
Here's our agenda for today's explainer. 1. The freedom illusion. 2. Decoding BGVAN. 3. The 24 avatars of evolution. 4. The digital Ulgulan. And 5. Support the revolution. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. The freedom illusion. Examining the 3,000-year syndicate.
Nayak doesn't just critique modern politics. He views the entire system as fundamentally compromised. He argues that today's mainstream political parties, the ones that constantly present themselves as bitter rivals, are actually just two sides of the exact same oppressive coin. He even suggests that India's independence in 1947 wasn't true freedom at all. According to Nayak's research, it was really just a transition of power from British colonizers back to this older native parasitic syndicate. He claims this group has used caste, untouchability, and the hoarding of knowledge to enslave agricultural and indigenous societies for millennia. To him, true freedom just hasn't happened yet.
Section 2. Decoding BGVN. From deity to scientific equation.
Okay, shifting from politics to his theological and scientific translations, which is really the absolute core concept of his book. Traditionally, the Hindi word Bhagwan translates to God, usually pictured as a supernatural deity, a magical creator, or a supreme person up in the sky. But Nayak entirely strips away the concept of a magical creator. He argues that Bhagwan was never, ever meant to be a person. Instead, he claims it's a deeply hidden scientific equation representing pure natural science.
So how does he break that down? Well, if you take the Hindi letters that make up the word Bhagwan, Nayak maps them out as an acronym for the 5 fundamental elements of the universe. B stands for Bhumi, which is earth. G is Gagan, meaning space. V is Vayu, or air. A is Agni, which is fire. And N is Nir, water. The key takeaway here is that when ancient texts mention Bhagwan, Nayak argues they were actually talking about the unchangeable laws of physics and the environment. Hence his ultimate conclusion, nature is the supreme power.
Section 3. The 24 avatars of evolution. Biology meets mythology. Right, so if God is actually nature, then what on earth are the mythological stories of the gods? Nayak maps this out meticulously in Chapter 10, connecting religious mythology directly to stages of biological evolution. Traditional myth says Vishnu took different avatars to save the world. Nayak says, no, these aren't miracles. This is an ancient record of Darwinian evolution. Take the first stage, Matsya, traditionally a giant fish. He decodes that as the aquatic origin of life. Next is Kurma, the giant turtle, representing the amphibian stage moving from water to land. Then Varaha, the divine boar, representing mammalian expansion. He's arguing that early indigenous scientists literally understood evolution way before modern science, but the syndicate coded it into myths to keep the masses in the dark. And it doesn't stop with early biology. Nayak outlines a full 24-step progression. Phase 1 is that biological evolution we just talked about, ending with Narasimha, the half-man, half-lion, marking the transition from animal to human. Phase 2 moves into human intellect and tools. For instance, he says Kapila represents the invention of mathematics, and Dhanvantari is the dawn of medical science. Phase 3 is social order. He views Rama not as a god, but as the establishment of a social code of conduct, and Ved Vyas as early data compilation. And finally, Phase 4 is Kalki. Nayak interprets this future avatar not as a guy on a horse, but as a digital revolution of truth that will finally crash the syndicate's software.
Section 4. The digital Ulgulan, a knowledge revolution.
So, moving from theory to Nayak's actual, actionable socio-political mission happening right now. He calls this the digital Ulgulan. Now, Ulgulan is a historical term meaning great tumult or revolution, usually tied to indigenous uprisings. Nayak's digital Ulgulan is a modern, knowledge-based revolution aimed at achieving Puri Azadi, true and complete freedom. His logic is straightforward. If the Syndicate held power for 3,000 years by hiding knowledge and creating illusions, the only way to dismantle them is by digitally distributing the truth to millions of people. He literally believes mass awareness will crash the psychological software of this ancient system.
The scope of this mission is just massive. We're talking about a comprehensive library of 18 different books. They break down everything from the illusion of the Green Revolution to the nitty-gritty workings of this predatory syndicate. And he doesn't just want readers. He actively wants people to become messengers of truth. He encourages his audience to grab these digital books for the price of a cup of tea, share them with family, friends all over social media, because every single share creates a newly awakened individual.
Section 5. Support the revolution, accessing the research.
So how do you actually get your hands on this material and judge these claims for yourself? Well, because this is entirely independent, non-corporate research, Nayak has made it unbelievably accessible. His full library of 18 revolutionary titles is available right now. You can get the English ebooks and audio overviews for just 90 rupees, and if you prefer Hindi, the ebooks and audio files are a crazy 10 rupees each. He is essentially giving this away to make sure the knowledge spreads as widely as possible.
To download them, just head over to his official digital storefront at hirananagpur.stores.instamojo.com. According to Nayak's mission, grabbing a copy there isn't just buying a book. It's a direct way for you to participate in this knowledge revolution and help spread the decoding of this 3,000-year-old illusion.
He also points out that uncovering this level of historical and scientific truth takes real resources. If you find value in his decoding of BGVN and the evolutionary avatars, and you want to help fund the Ulgulan mission, he relies strictly on voluntary economic support from readers. You can support the grassroots research directly via PayPal at hiranagapur@gmail.com for global readers, or, if you're in India, use his official UPI handle at hiranagapur@Kodak.
We have covered a lot of ground today, from redefining the very word for God into an elemental equation for earth, space, air, fire, and water, to viewing ancient mythology as a literal textbook for biological and societal evolution. It is an incredibly dense, highly structured framework. So, I will leave you with this provocative thought. If nature truly is the ultimate supreme power, and our ancient history is actually a coded evolutionary map waiting to be unlocked, are you ready to read the research and become a messenger of truth yourself? Thanks for tuning in to this explainer, and keep questioning everything.